The internet lost its mind the moment someone in the crowd noticed him. No announcement, no security spectacle, no red carpet entrance. Just an ordinary fan sitting quietly in a corporate box while nearly 50,000 people screamed below. But this wasn't just any fan. It was Tom Hanks. And the show he had chosen to attend on the other side of the planet belonged to none other than Bad Bunny. The moment was captured by a concertgoer named Marley Abager during Bad Bunny's historic Sydney performance, and within hours the clip exploded across TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and group chats around the world. Fans couldn't believe what they were seeing. One of Hollywood's most recognizable actors casually watching a reggaeton superstar perform in Australia. What made the moment even stranger was that nobody knew why he was there. Hanks didn't post about it. His team didn't explain it. He was simply sitting there, enjoying the music like any other person in the crowd. That mystery instantly turned a random concert sighting into one of the internet's favorite celebrity crossovers of the year. Fans quickly gave him a new nickname, Tío Tomás, Spanish for Uncle Thomas, while others joked that the voice of Woody from Toy Story had just shown up to support one of the world's biggest Latin artists. And suddenly the question everyone was asking wasn't just, is that really Tom Hanks? It was something even better. What on earth was Tom Hanks doing at a Bad Bunny concert in Sydney? The moment the clip appeared online, the reaction was immediate and chaotic. What started as a simple fan recording quickly transformed into a viral mystery involving two of the most recognizable names in completely different worlds of entertainment. The video first circulated through fan communities dedicated to Bad Bunny before spreading across TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. Within hours, millions of people had seen the footage showing Tom Hanks casually sitting inside a corporate box at Sydney's stadium, watching the show unfold just like everyone else. What made the moment so fascinating wasn't simply that a major Hollywood star was present. Celebrity sightings at concerts happen all the time. But the way this one unfolded felt different. There was no announcement, no VIP escort, no social media posts hinting that Hanks planned to attend. He was simply there, quietly enjoying the performance without drawing attention to himself. That low-key appearance made the moment feel almost surreal once the internet realized who it was. The video that Marley Abager recorded spread rapidly after it was picked up by fan accounts and shared across multiple platforms. One of the earliest posts that helped amplify the clip came from a Bad Bunny fan account that captioned it, "Tom Hanks was present at Bad Bunny's concert in Sydney." From that point on, the clip began appearing everywhere, news feeds, celebrity blogs, and even mainstream entertainment pages discussing the unexpected crossover between Hollywood and Latin music. Online reactions ranged from disbelief to pure comedy. Thousands of comments flooded the posts within minutes. Some people joked that Tom Hanks had simply shown up because he has great taste in music. Others were more fascinated by the cultural crossover itself, one of Hollywood's most wholesome actors attending the stadium show of one of the world's most influential reggaeton artists. Then the internet did what the internet always does, it turned the moment into a meme. Fans began calling Hanks Tío Tomás, a playful nickname translating to Uncle Thomas. Others joked that the voice of Woody from Toy Story had decided to support Bad Bunny in person. Some users even pointed out that Bad Bunny has spoken about loving Toy Story in the past, which made the moment feel almost like a strange pop culture coincidence. Another detail added fuel to the viral moment. People quickly noticed that Hanks appeared to be sitting alone in the corporate box with minimal security or entourage visible. That only made the situation more intriguing. For someone who has spent decades as one of Hollywood's most famous actors, the idea that he could casually attend a massive stadium concert without anyone noticing at first felt almost unbelievable. And the biggest question still had no answer. Why was Tom Hanks there in the first place? Some fans speculated that he might have been in Sydney filming a project. Others wondered if he was simply attending as a fan of Bad Bunny's music. But neither Hanks nor his representatives offered any explanation, which only made the story more entertaining. Because sometimes the internet loves a mystery more than an answer. And this particular mystery was happening on a night that was already historic for Bad Bunny. Even before anyone realized that Tom Hanks was quietly sitting in the audience, the Sydney concert itself was already becoming a historic moment in global music. The show marked the first time that Bad Bunny had ever performed live in Australia, and the response from fans was overwhelming. When tickets for the Sydney dates went on sale, demand exploded instantly. Within minutes, tens of thousands of fans flooded the ticketing systems, pushing both shows at the massive stadium to completely sell out. By the time the first night arrived, nearly 90,000 people were expected to attend across the two concerts, setting a new attendance record for the venue. For many industry observers, the numbers were remarkable for a specific reason: Spanish is spoken by less than one of Australia's population. Yet inside that stadium, tens of thousands of people were singing every lyric back to Bad Bunny, many of them in Spanish. That moment highlighted something music executives had been watching closely for years. Bad Bunny's influence had grown far beyond the traditional Latin music audience. His music was reaching listeners across continents, languages, and cultures in ways that very few artists had ever achieved. Promoters from Live Nation described the Sydney shows as proof that Latin artists could headline stadiums even in regions where Spanish is not widely spoken. The concerts were part of Bad Bunny's massive world tour supporting his latest album, which had already shattered streaming records across multiple platforms. By 2026, Bad Bunny had become one of the most streamed artists on Spotify globally multiple times, with billions of plays every year. His music dominated playlists across North America, Latin America, Europe, and increasingly Asia and Australia. Just weeks before arriving in Sydney, he had also delivered one of the biggest performances of his career by headlining the halftime show at the Super Bowl. All of that momentum made the Sydney shows feel like more than just concerts. They felt like proof of a cultural shift in the music industry. Fans attending the events described an atmosphere that was both electric and emotional. Puerto Rican flags waved through the crowd, while thousands of fans sang along to songs even if Spanish wasn't their first language. For members of the Latin community living in Australia, the moment felt especially powerful. Some attendees said it was surreal to see their culture represented on such a massive stage in a country where Spanish speakers make up a very small portion of the population. One concertgoer who had lived in Australia for over a decade said the sight of tens of thousands of people celebrating Latin music together was something she never expected to witness in her lifetime. And that was the environment into which Tom Hanks unexpectedly walked. A stadium packed with record-breaking crowds. A global superstar performing the biggest show of his career in Australia. And somewhere above it all, in a quiet corporate box, one of Hollywood's most beloved actors sitting back and enjoying the music. For many fans online, that image became the perfect symbol of how far Bad Bunny's influence had reached. Because when someone like Tom Hanks shows up at your concert halfway across the world, it suggests that your music has moved beyond being simply popular. It has become global. But the internet wasn't finished reacting yet. In fact, the most entertaining part of the story came next, when fans began connecting an unexpected pop culture detail that made the entire moment even funnier. As the video of Tom Hanks sitting casually at the Sydney concert continued spreading across social media, fans started connecting a detail that made the entire moment feel even more surreal. It wasn't just that a Hollywood legend had shown up to watch Bad Bunny perform. It was who Tom Hanks is in the world of pop culture. For decades, Hanks has been the voice behind one of the most recognizable animated characters in movie history, Woody from the beloved Pixar franchise Toy Story. Generations of fans grew up hearing his voice as the loyal cowboy toy in a series of films that became a cornerstone of modern animation. And here's where the internet found its favorite twist. Bad Bunny has openly talked in interviews about being a huge fan of Toy Story. The Puerto Rican superstar has referenced the films multiple times over the years, even mentioning how much he admired the character of Woody growing up. Once fans remembered that detail, the sight of Tom Hanks watching him perform suddenly felt almost like a strange pop culture full-circle moment. Within hours, memes began flooding social media. Fans joked that Woody came to watch Bad Bunny perform. Others claimed the universe had somehow arranged the moment. One viral post simply read, "Tom Hanks at a Bad Bunny concert in Australia was not on my 2026 bingo card." Thousands of people reposted it, laughing at the unlikely crossover between Hollywood nostalgia and modern Latin music dominance. Another phrase quickly spread across fan communities, Tío Tomás. The nickname, Spanish for Uncle Thomas, became a playful way for Bad Bunny fans to adopt Hanks into their cultural moment. Comments under the viral video filled with messages welcoming him, as if he were part of the fanbase. Some even joked that he had traveled all the way to Sydney just to personally support the artist. Of course, the truth remained a mystery. Hanks never addressed the sighting publicly, and his team didn't provide any explanation either. That silence only made the moment funnier and more intriguing to the internet. Without an official story, fans were free to imagine their own. Was he simply in Sydney and decided to check out the concert? Was he curious about one of the world's biggest music stars? Or did he just want to enjoy a night of live music without drawing attention? Whatever the reason, the image of Tom Hanks quietly sitting in a stadium, while thousands of fans screamed for Bad Bunny became one of those unexpected celebrity moments the internet loves to replay again and again. But there was another strange detail that made the story feel even more bizarre for longtime followers of Tom Hanks. Because this wasn't the first time the actor had unexpectedly gone viral while visiting Australia. And the last time it happened, the entire world was dealing with something much bigger than a concert. Just when the internet thought the story of Tom Hanks casually attending a Bad Bunny concert couldn't get any stranger, fans started remembering something else about Hanks and Australia. And once the connection resurfaced, the jokes online reached a completely new level. Back in March 2020, Tom Hanks and his wife Rita Wilson were in Australia filming a movie when he made a historic announcement on social media. They had tested positive for COVID-19. At the time, the news spread across the world almost instantly. Hanks was one of the first major global celebrities to publicly confirm a COVID diagnosis, and the moment became one of the earliest viral headlines of the pandemic era. So when fans saw him once again appearing unexpectedly in Australia in 2026, the internet couldn't resist pointing out the coincidence. Posts started appearing across Threads, TikTok, and X joking about the timing. One viral comment read, "The last time Tom Hanks surprised everyone in Australia in March, the whole world changed." Another joke that people should relax because this time the only thing spreading was the concert video itself. Of course, the comments were mostly playful. But they showed just how deeply Tom Hanks has been embedded in pop culture for decades. Every public appearance he makes carries a layer of history with it, whether it's his iconic movie roles, his reputation as one of Hollywood's most beloved actors, or memorable moments like the 2020 announcement that became part of global news. Meanwhile, the concert itself continued generating headlines for an entirely different reason: the incredible scale of Bad Bunny's worldwide success. By the time he arrived in Sydney, Bad Bunny had already achieved milestones that few artists in any language had ever reached. He had become Spotify's most streamed artist multiple times, pulled in nearly 20 billion streams in a single year, and earned a Grammy for an album performed entirely in Spanish. Just weeks before those Sydney shows, he had also delivered one of the most talked about performances in music by headlining the halftime show at the 2026 Super Bowl. That performance introduced his music to an audience of more than 100 million viewers worldwide, cementing his status as one of the most influential global entertainers of the decade. And now, in a stadium thousands of miles from his home in Puerto Rico, he was breaking attendance records in a country where less than 1% of the population speaks Spanish as their first language. In that context, the sight of Tom Hanks sitting in the audience almost felt symbolic. It showed just how far Bad Bunny's influence had reached. Because when an Oscar-winning Hollywood actor quietly shows up to watch your concert on the other side of the world, it suggests that your music has moved beyond cultural boundaries entirely. But the story still left one question hanging in the air. Tom Hanks never explained why he was there. And strangely enough, that unanswered question might be the reason the moment became so unforgettable. After days of speculation, memes, and viral clips, one thing became clear about the night Tom Hanks appeared at the Sydney concert of Bad Bunny: nobody ever got an explanation. There was no press statement, no social media post, and no interview revealing why one of Hollywood's most beloved actors decided to quietly attend a reggaeton stadium show halfway across the world. He simply showed up, watched the performance, and left the internet with a moment that felt strangely perfect. And in a way, that mystery became the best part of the story. Because sometimes the most viral moments on the internet aren't carefully planned events, they're the unexpected crossovers nobody saw coming. A Hollywood legend sitting quietly in a corporate box while one of the biggest music stars on the planet breaks attendance records in a country where his language is spoken by less than 1% of the population. That image alone said everything about how much the music world has changed. For decades, global pop culture moved mostly in one direction, from Hollywood outward. But the night Bad Bunny filled that Sydney stadium showed something different. A Spanish-language artist from Puerto Rico could headline massive shows on the other side of the planet, bring tens of thousands of fans together, and attract the attention of celebrities who grew up in an entirely different entertainment universe. And that's what made Tom Hanks' appearance feel symbolic. When the voice of Woody from Toy Story quietly shows up to watch a reggaeton superstar perform live, it's a reminder that pop culture boundaries are disappearing faster than ever. By the end of the week, the viral clip had traveled across every major platform. Fans had given Hanks a new nickname, Tio Tomas. Memes comparing Woody and Bad Bunny flooded timelines. And the internet collectively agreed on one thing: it was one of the most unexpected celebrity sightings of the year. But the real story wasn't just about Tom Hanks. It was about the scale of Bad Bunny's influence. Because when an Oscar-winning actor casually decides he wants to be in the room while you perform, it means your music has reached a level that's impossible to ignore. And somewhere in that stadium in Sydney, while tens of thousands of fans sang along in Spanish, Tom Hanks was simply another person enjoying the show. Now the question is yours. If you suddenly spotted Tom Hanks sitting next to you at a concert, what would you do? Would you pull out your phone like Marley did, or would you just sit back and enjoy the moment? Let me know in the comments. And if you love unexpected celebrity stories like this one, make sure to follow for more moments where pop culture collides in ways nobody could have predicted.